Welcome to this presentation of UPSL Soccer Action, live on YouTube and presented by the Atlantic Soccer Media Group.
And welcome back to Heinz Ward Field at Terrace Stadium. The UPSL Georgia Spring Regional Cup semifinal continues. Our second of two, Atlanta Rovers FC taking on Cochos FC. And it's right here, and it's next. Could be dangerous and go near post with it, or he can be safe and go far post. Goalkeeper's leaving the near post open. He's going to trust his wall. He does go near post!
Oh, what a shot.
Atlanta City FC with the... Tinto did not. That tackle by Les Haji was difficult and hard and harsh even. The referee says play on. Nice reception and turn by Ty. He's got Hubert Mascaro. Ty goes far post! Atlanta United... Ball's played in, and unable to keep it out of the net is Cosmos.
He's running out on C's.
Near post corner. Off the head, nice save, and it goes in the back of the net. C's United FC able to tie the game in the 80th. Put some service into the box, headed up in the air by Felix. Ball still bouncing in the 6. Headed away off the line by Rovers, headed back into play. Shot on goal, Rovers! We are live from Jonesboro, Georgia. Heinz Ward Field, Terrace Stadium. Atlanta Rovers FC taking on Cochos FC. UPSL Georgia Spring Regional Cup semifinal matchup. The winner goes on to face Club the Strongest Atlanta next week in the final. Atlanta Rovers FC made it here fairly easy. Opened up the tournament with a 3-0 win over FC Atlanta Academy. Follow that up by a 4-1 victory over Atlanta City FC. And last week, they were up all game against Club the Strongest Atlanta, and a late equalizer from Mauricio Cross ended the game in a 1-1 draw. So if I am being a little biased, I'd love to see a rematch, the rubber match, next week. Club the Strongest versus Atlanta Rovers FC. But Cochos FC coming into this not slouches. They were a men's team established in 2018. They've won local amateur leagues, won the Cobb County Adult League in 2022, and will play the State Adult Cup in May and will be joining the UPSL in the fall. I'm going to lay out for the playing of the national anthem. Both teams giving their greetings, making their final battle calls. The officials look to make their final preparations. We are going to be underway here in our second semifinal matchup in just a few short moments. A couple of players I'd like to point out for this Atlanta Rovers squad. Of course, number 7, the Venezuelan Alejandro Rodriguez, went to Lynn University in Boca Raton, Florida. Had 6 goals in the UPSL Premier Division last fall. Alejandro got hurt fairly early in the season, and I'm going to go out and say it. If he was healthy all season, he would have 100% held up the Golden Boot trophy. I'd also like to point out number 8, Sebastian Montero, who has been all over the place from Mexico to Costa Rica. He won a national title with Atletico Atlanta here in the UPSL in 2021. U19 regional winner for North Atlanta Soccer Association, Southern Soccer Academy, USL League 2. He was in Nisa with the Michigan Stars FC in 2022. But we're underway for the first 45 here at Heinz Ward Field Terrace Stadium. Just a couple of players to look out for this Rovers squad. Rovers looking to capitalize early. Jimmy Lee Noel in the far corner. Nice defensive clearance from Cochos early on. Jair Lopez tried to bring it down from his head, unsuccessful. Sebastian Montero in possession, plays it out to the right side of Noel. Noel looks up, beats a man, moves it right past Omari Walker. Noel tries to play it across the middle. David Ayala gets a foot on and clears. Plays it up to Luis Alvarez. Matthews heads it in the air. No, it's very interesting, Larry, this Cochos FC team really completely, if you look at on paper, completely out of their wheelhouse. Don't even really deserve to be here. But here we are, breaking in behind this defense of the Rovers. Christian Cortez trying to find some space in behind Zach Bacher. Jorge Valdivino steps off his line for a save early on. Ackworth, Georgia native. Getting comfortable between the pipes for Rovers, Larry.
And that's exactly what you could say for us. We've never seen Cochos, with them being a non-UPSL team, don't really know much about them, if any at all. They've really, they had an easy first match because of the forfeit for Volpe not having the right paperwork. They had a good second and third round match and have found themselves in a great position here going up against the Rovers.
Yeah, that second contest they played against Clayton International FC, Carlos Zaldana free kick. What an amazing free kick it was. And that free kick right there essentially sent Cochos into the semifinal. Week 3, unfortunate for them, they were shown what it's like to play a powerhouse in the UPSL in LGSA, and they got it handed to them 5-2. So you know they're going to be looking to bounce back today. And behind that Rovers defense, Mo Hawari being defended by Max. McConan Clare becoming a staple in that defense for Rovers.
And that's what they have to do. A lot of teams would consider them not to be worthy of the position that they're in. They need to capitalize on this opportunity and find themselves, if possible, into the finals next week.
Absolutely. Josh Francombe, Zach Bacher, Chris Derone working on the left side. Francombe switches it over to the right to the feet of Rennie Matthews. Ball sneaks in behind the defense. Can Noel keep it in? Tries to put it across the middle. Alejandro Rodriguez crashing into the far post. Unfortunately, it goes behind the goal. Goal kick for Cochos. Had the chance to talk with Rennie Matthews this week. Rennie is a Venezuelan, and his parents are Chilean, so he's got 2 nationalities. He was all over the place in Venezuela. Even played in the Copa Libertadores for Zamora FC in Venezuela. Played for a few more teams in Venezuela before he made his way here to Georgia, and here he is with the Rovers. Zach Bacher trying to sneak in behind Carlos Landaverde, the official on the far side of the field. And puts his flag up for offside, though.
And you know, Drew, when you get to that position, if you're able to get to the position of being an international player, that's exactly what a lot of nations want to see. They want to see a player that has multinationality. Maybe they could talk him into one side other than the other. You know, you see that with a lot of players.
Matthews in possession, plays it at the feet of Noel. Jimmy Lee Noel went to Baldwin High School in Milledgeville, Georgia. The Haitian also attended Hartwick College, where he was a 2021 Empire 8 second team member. So we look for Jimmy to be flying up that right side, putting in plays for Rodriguez. Claire plays it up the middle, looking for Alejandro Rodriguez. He's in a battle with David Ayala. Alejandro Rodriguez sneaks in behind. Great save from Nick Finley to come out and disturb Rodriguez, who's looking to put his first goal on the board this tournament, or this afternoon, and he wins a free kick, or a corner kick. I'm punchy today, Larry.
It's okay. It's okay. We had a great matchup in the first matchup with Los Tigres and LGSA. We'll take a really quick look at this one, and you can see Alejandro just fighting with the defender, trying to get to the left, trying to get to the right, able to make a little bit of a run, a little bit of a tug at the same time, but he's able to earn the corner.
David Ayala is going to have himself a job to do today while battling against Alejandro Rodriguez. A volley out of the air attempt from Jimmy Lee Noel, just unsuccessful. He didn't get much behind it. Easy save for Nick Finley. Ball's intercepted from Jair Lopez. A little bit of heavy touch allows Cochos to regain possession. Enoch Sarfo. Zaldana. Cortez switches it over to the left side. Nice run off the ball from Cochos. Carlos Zaldana. Nice defensive play here from Noel, looking to come from his right wing position, looking to push it up that right side for Alejandro Rodriguez. We're on the same page. It's going to sail out of bounds for a throw-in for Cochos. They'll let that ball ride and get a new ball in action here. Gonna be a Cochos throw right at half field. space in the midfield. Cochos go down the line, headed back into the out-of-bounds position was Jair Lopez. Throw in for Cochos. Square throw, Zaldana. Back to the thrower. Ball plays back to Finley, who's heavily pressured by Rodriguez. Hospital ball intercepted from Josh Francombe. Francombe from Sandy Springs, Georgia, gives the ball away. Referee says play on. They, as in the Rovers, are going to reset with Valdivinos. Valdivinos pushed it to the left for McCone Claire. McCone thought twice, going to pull it back, reset. See a couple of number 9s out on the field for Cochos. And just a bit offside was Chris Derone. Free kick is taken quickly for Cochos. Played up to one of the number 9s. Can Noel beat Ayala to it? No, he cannot. Ayala is able to win that ball and push it out to the left side. Noel being slowed down by Christian Cortez. Jimmy Newell will try to punch it on the inside, but had that pass intercepted. Here come Cochos. Tried to leave it for a dummy, but Rennie Matthews read that all the way, and Rennie pushes it out to the left side. And offside is Chris Derone.
And Drew, you know, when we talk about the Atlanta Rovers, we can't say enough about their 2022 fall campaign. Did a fantastic job. They won the Regional Cup, went into the season hot, on fire, just above everybody else. And then they stumbled in the middle when they had Alejandro and Luke Sexton go down injured. They lost 3 of 4 in the mid, were able to make it into the playoffs, but they just weren't at full strength like they had been at the beginning of the season. Looks like everybody is healthy so far in this spring season. We'll see if that continues.
You know, piggyback off what you said, Larry, it's one of those situations to where you had to really be there to believe it. Atlanta Rovers FC completely dominated LGSA La Minho the entire match. Just lost and didn't even get a goal scored on them. And yes, that's right. 2 own goals sends LGSA La Minho to the playoff final, where they went on to beat Atlanta United, or they went on to lose to Atlanta United. Long ball down the left side. Chris Derone trying to run onto it. He's in a foot race with the Cochos defender, and great slide tackle from Cochos to force a throw in for Atlanta Rovers.
LGSA lost to Atlanta United in the regular season, but in that playoffs, they were able to beat Atlanta United in the finals. They were able to make it into the national tournament, but then got knocked out in that round of 32 against Beeman United.
Yep. Ball's played in the 18, headed out by Cochos. Cochos coming down through the midfield. Long ball is run down by Rennie Matthews. He receives the ball, turns, has some space in front, plays in the middle to Josh Francombe. Francombe has 6 caps for Wales. Alejandro is going to be offside once again.
And you know what? I'm not upset about that. Let Alejandro work that back line. Yeah, he might get offsides 3 or 4 times, but that moment that he gets it right, that's all the Rovers need.
Plays a beautiful ball over that back line. Has Valdivinos off his line. Great defensive playing here from Rovers. Referee says play on. Shielded the ball, shielded the man right off the ball. Great work from the Atlanta Rovers FC midfield. An injured player here for Cochos. Francom's going to put his shoe back on, Larry.
And remember, a little bit of a difference for the man between the posts for Atlanta Rovers. They don't have their starting keeper from the fall season. Changed it up a little bit. They even got the Cochos FC keeper, as Cochos FC is not in the spring season. So there's going to be a little bit of decision making that the Rover staff are going to have to make about who's going to be between those sticks.
Yeah, I mean, you got Jorge Valdivinos, who went to Emmanuel College, North Cobb High School, and Cameron Verona, the Locust Grove, Georgia native, went to Locust Grove High School, then attended Reinhardt College, transferred to Piedmont, USA South Division Player of the Week 3 times, USA South All-Academic Team 2 times, 162 saves, 15-12-1 record from 2018 to 2020 at Piedmont College. Played for the Rovers. Now he's with played with Cochos. Now he's with Atlanta Rovers FC. And Larry, like you said, it's going to be a battle throughout the season to see who's going to win that spot between the pipes. Kind of similar to Brandon Mullis and Cosmos Azuru. Shot on goal attempt and 2 gloves over the crossbar. Sends the ball, does Jorge Valdivinos. He needed to do it. Great shot. Wasn't expecting that. And Carlos Saldana making his free kick presence known early on here, Larry.
Well, he definitely earned his starting spot there on that save.
It's funny how that works out. It will be a corner from the right side. Christian Cortez will take a right foot in swinging corner for Cochos. 2 hands up. The ball's played in. Beautiful corner headed away by Matthews. Battle at the top of the arc between Noel and Luis Alvarez. That battle is won from Rovers. Chris Ramos to Francom. Back to Ramos. Try to find Francom. Just played a hospital ball, intercepted by Enoch Safro. And this ball going to go off Safro's shins for a throw-in for Rovers.
We'll go ahead and take a look at that opportunity that Cochos had real quick. You can see here, and it's on this free kick.
This is almost the same spot that he scored this against Clayton, Lair.
And just a great little just push over the bar from the keeper.
About 15 minutes in, Heinz Ward Field Terrace Stadium, Atlanta Rovers FC taking on Cochos FC. Georgia Regional Cup semifinal. Kind of similar to the first game. Not too much happening here in the first half. Both teams still trying to feel each other out. Plenty of time remaining. Possession-wise, it's been all Rovers. Larry, you'd argue, though, chances-wise, probably one more chance in favor of Cochos FC. Something that you really didn't expect. So very exciting watching this, pretty much men's league team out here playing a powerhouse in the UPSL Georgia Premier Division.
Yeah, so far, a lot of possession for Rovers, just really nothing to say that they've done with it.
Look at the space in the midfield. Look, there's 40 yards between the back line and the next midfielder. Uncharacteristic of Rovers. They're all bunched up. Daron fouled. Free kick at half field for Rovers. It's going to be taken by captain Kanan Clear. He's going to play a short ball to Francom, who pushes it out to Lopez. Figueroa Lopez tries to switch it. Just didn't get much behind it. Intercepted by Cochos. As Amari Walker tried to find the feet of Sarfo, is intercepted by Rovers, who try to play a ball down that right wing looking for Jimmy Lee Noel. David Ayala gets a foot in and plays it back to Nick Finley. Finley playing with it in the box. Almost stripped from Jimmy Noel. Got to be careful, Nick Finley. Jimmy Lee Noel, no slouch in the goal-scoring department. See a lot of silly mistakes, uncharacteristic mistakes from positions that you shouldn't see those kind of mistakes from.
That was one of the things last week, Drew. We saw time and we had 4 games and we saw multiple mistakes by keepers.
Yes, and even some today. Not so much from the keepers, but just defensive players nonetheless. Still lots of space in the midfield. It's like as soon as the defensive players for the Rovers get it, all the offensive players just turn and run. He is onside. Alejandro Rodriguez in possession at the top of the 18. Rodriguez sails over the bar. able to find some space and try to unlock that defense of Cochos. Rodriguez snuck into the 18. Massive shot attempt, but it sails over both crossbars, and it'll be a goal kick for Cochos FC.
And just like I said, he's going to be sitting on that line. And here, this time he got the line right. See that
Great
ball
awareness,
come in.
Yep.
Just didn't get the best first touch. Set him off to the right just a little bit, and that didn't allow him to get a good shot on goal.
That last little bit of bounce threw him off a little bit. You like to see Rodriguez put it down to his feet and take that into the box. Zach Bacher battling Carlos Landaverde inside the 18 of Cochos. And Landaverde is going to lose out and lose to a corner for Rovers. Corner's going to be taken by Noel. He's going to use that right foot to in-swing this corner. Got Claire, Durone, Rodriguez, Montero, all in the box. Francombe is ran for a short ball, and Noel plays it to Josh Francombe. Francombe looks up, plays it to the far post. What a ball! And it's bouncing inside the 6, and Rovers are finding the back of the net in the 18th minute. Josh Francombe puts it to the far post, and the Rovers take the lead 1-0. Chris Durone.
And it just seemed like this was just a matter of time, Drew. Take another look at this great corner. Takes it short. Everybody runs back for Cochos. That ball comes in. Nobody marks him into the back post. Dribbles into the goal. Fantastic goal for the Rovers to go up 1-0.
Josh Francombe from Riverwood High School plays it to Chris Durone from Tucker High School. And the steal here from Aguero. That's what they call him, Chris Durone Aguero. Alejandro Rodriguez battling with Carlos Landaverde inside the 18. They want to pass back to the goalkeeper. And Larry, there it is right there. That's the mentality that it looks like they just don't have. You can't play it back to the goalkeeper and pick it up.
No, that's just a lack of focus there. We'll take a quick look at it. You can see here he's dribbling around with the ball, plays it back, keeper grabs it. That's and that I have to say that's a mistake on the keeper. The keeper has to know that that's a pass back. He needs to just clear it out. He doesn't need to be grabbing that ball.
I agree. So we should have an indirect free kick inside the box. Standing over this is Chris Durone, Rennie Matthews. It looks like Sebastian Montero as well. This isn't as easy as it looks if you're watching back home. About 17 yards from goal.
Yeah, it's very tough to get up and down. You almost
shot on goal, far post. Josh Francombe sends Atlanta Rovers FC up 2-0. The former Atlanta United Academy player has been nothing but terror to this Cochos FC defense.
And they did exactly what I was just getting ready to say, and I held it, is you don't go up and down. You just kind of dummy it off and let someone else take the shot around the goal, around the wall, and he does so, puts it in the back of the net. 2-0 Rovers.
And it was an indirect free kick, so it has to touch two bodies before it enters the back of the net. Rovers read it perfectly. Josh Francombe with an assist and a goal. Already 21 minutes in. Atlanta Rovers on top. Cochos FC 2-0. And here comes Chris Durone. He's got Rodriguez at the near post. Nice run to the near post by Montero. He finds Montero. Tries to one-time it. Montero unsuccessful. Rodriguez to Noel. One touch back into the 6 for Noel. Just unsuccessful once again for Rovers as they are knocking on the door. They're hungry. They want to make their names known once again, and they want to solidify that spot in the final next week in the rubber match.
And this is not what Cochos needed early in this match. They did not need to have the Rovers this locked in.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. You know, if this was the 72nd minute, you'd be thinking it's playing right into the hands of Cochos FC. But down 2-0 in 20 minutes, it's going to be a very difficult task to fight back from. But that's what excites me. Let's see what they have. You know, we said at the beginning of the game they really shouldn't even be here, but here they are. And let's give them some credit.
Yeah, they had a great match against Clayton,
who's no slouch.
who's no slouch in any way. You know,
Finalist.
They're a solid team in the Division I. They were able to step away in that match with a victory. Unfortunately, they lost to LGSA handedly in that last match.
Francombe to Bacher. Bacher tried to play it back to Francombe, who was performing an overlapping run. Unsuccessful. Throw in Cochos. Throw in down the line. Nice defense there from Jair Figueroa Lopez. One able to keep it in. Another throw for Cochos right in front of that Rovers bench. Lopez wins it out of the air. Plays it to Daron. Tried to play one-time header through for Rodriguez. Nice awareness from David Ayala. Back in possession are the Rovers. They're going to reset, calm things down a little bit.
And you see how the Rovers get instantly wide. You can see it on the big screen there. Spread that defense out against Cochos.
Just fascinated at watching the movement of number 5, Josh Francombe. He's already got a goal, already has an assist, and he's not stopping. He's continuing to move, making himself available for each and every player out on the pitch. You gotta love it. He attended Elon University, and as I mentioned, 6 caps for the Wales international team. Nice ball from Max. Rodriguez is onside. Nice recovery from Landaverde to
But
clear
you
it
saw
away.
there, Drew, the defense for Cochos put the hand up wanting the offsides and stop. You had 2 or 3 players that just stopped, and the Rovers were continuing to move. You don't stop until the whistle goes.
Once again, you kind of chalk that up to, you know, I hate to say it like this, but big game experience. Maybe nerves are running through. It's going to be a free kick for Cochos. Let's see if they can't calm down, compose themselves. Lots of reinforcements on the bench, so the coach has plenty of ideas and players to go to. But I have to be honest, the score is 2-0, but Cochos are not playing bad as they play a ball to the top of the 18, headed out by Rovers. Francombe in possession. Back to Rennie Matthews. Matthews opens up his body, brings it across the 18. Montero comes back to receive and plays it out to the left side for Bacher. He's going to turn. He's got space in front, but he's going to bring it back to the captain, McKinnon Clare. The Moroccan dumps it back to the goalkeeper. Valdivino swings it out wide right to Rennie Matthews. The Venezuelan carries it up the field. Lots of space in front of him as well. Long ball up the right side. Jimmy Lee Noel. He's in behind David Ayala. He's got Rodriguez at the far post. Jimmy Lee Noel goes far post! Just couldn't find Rodriguez as he put too much on it. Throw in Cochos.
Take another look at this here, Drew. Jimmy just on an absolute track run here. Sent forward. And he is just on his horse, able to get past the defender, but that speed just didn't allow him to get a proper touch on that ball as he was trying to cross it into the box.
Going down the line. Going to remain in possession of Cochos. They're going to get another shot at it. Just a few yards ahead of the last throw. Cortez is going to leave it. Throwing down the line once again. One in the air by Lopez, who sends a nice header to the inside of the pitch to Montero, who gets it taken from him from Rodriguez and gives a one-time shot. I'm not sure if the teammates were on the same page right there. Nonetheless, it's going to be a corner
I have
for
to say,
Rovers.
Drew, you know, we are such pro keeper, but the Cochos keeper just looks really unconfident. He just looks really just deer in a headlight right now.
Well, they got 2 more on the bench. It's going to be an in-swinging corner from the left side. Ball's away. Far post to Noel is wide open. He cleans up that touch. He's going to have a lot better opportunities inside the 18 for this Rovers team. He's defended by Amari Walker. Francombe. What a player. Josh Francombe switches it over to Zach Bacher. Bacher's got Figueroa Lopez in front. He finds the feet of Lopez. I saw what you tried to do there. Sebastian Montero making a beautiful through run from the midfield. Unsuccessful. Ball goes far post, looking for Rodriguez. Shoulder-to-shoulder play. Referee disagrees. It's going to be a free kick for Cochos. We're in the 27th minute. Live from Jonesboro, Georgia, UPSL Georgia Spring Regional Cup Semifinal Match 2. Winner goes on to face Club the Strongest Atlanta in the final next week. Right now, looking like Atlanta Rovers FC are going to have a date with CTS once again. But it's not over yet. Cochos FC, the championship men's league team from Cobb County, is going to have something to say about it. Down 2 early. Let's see if they can muster up a fight and make this a game. Just like Cochos, Rovers have plenty of reinforcements on the bench. Justin Sexton, Sebastian Lopez, Augusto Del Rio, Jacob Harden, Luke Sexton, Manuel Carrillo, who's got 3 or 4 goals in the tournament already himself, Nazario Mbomio, and who can forget Gregorio Rocamora, who played a crucial role on this team last season. So Atlanta Rovers FC, if they can put things together and start to click, it's going to be a scary, scary season for the rest of them, Larry.
Like we said, at the beginning of the fall season, they were on another level than all the other teams, and they just put everybody on notice. And unfortunately, when Luke Sexton and Alejandro both went down injured, they stumbled. And like we said, 3 or 4 matches they lost right there in the middle of the season. That's what cost them.
Yeah, but shout out to Ayuba Louie, Manager of the Year in the Fall 22 season for the UPSL Georgia Premier Division. 2 big injuries and some crucial losses, like you said, Larry. But being able to pick up the pieces and being, seconds, because you didn't even get scored on, being seconds away from advancing and going to the UPSL National Playoffs, hats off to him. And I spoke to him a couple of times in the offseason. They got something ready for this season coming up, and I'm excited to see. Like you said, if they stay healthy throughout the year, Atlanta United, Atlanta Rovers FC, LGS Aluminio, and even FC Birmingham, who we have yet to really know anything about coming this season. We knew lots about them last season, but I'm really eager to see what they bring in this spring season. Is Goldfarb going to stick around? Who knows? Here comes Rodriguez. Alejandro Rodriguez, a heavy touch. And the goalkeeper comes out, makes a clean tackle. He hurts himself in the process, he being the goalkeeper. Rodriguez hops right back up, and Nick Finley is down. Finley hops right back up himself.
And we'll take a look at that real quick as Finley is attending. You can see as this ball is thrown in, able to get past the defender is Alejandro. Great little touch there.
Larry,
Finley had to come out.
It was that right knee. That ball touched the right knee. It was just a little bit too heavy. We're going to have a corner on the far right side. It's going to be a left foot in-swinging corner for Atlanta Rovers FC. Movement on the bench. Gregorio Rocamora is up moving. Nick Finley comes off his line and makes a save from the corner. Rodriguez bumps into him. The referee's going to give Alejandro a little speaking to. Francombe being pressured by Amari Walker. Francombe maintaining possession. Very heavy pressure from Walker. Nice playing from Josh Francombe. Sebastian Montero in the midfield for Rovers. Switches fields to McConan Clare. Clare being pressured by Mo Hawari, drops it back to Valdivinos. Valdivinos has a touch, looks up, plays it up to the left to Zach Bacher. Bacher's got lots of space in front. He's going to turn and burn up this left side. Red jerseys are swarming. He plays on the inside to Montero. Montero being heavily pressured by Cochos FC member Carlos Landaverde and wins a free kick in the midfield for Rovers. Play it quickly out to the left side to Zach Bacher. Just didn't get what they wanted. Intercepted by Cochos. Ayala. Looking for Walker. Just didn't like it. Walker, too heavy of a touch. Cristerone Aguirre, and he's going to be offside. Cristerone snuck in behind that back line of Cochos.
And that was close. Another close. Could have went either way, but that was definitely offside. Just needed maybe another half second, and that would have been 3-0.
Work those offside kinks out in the Regional Cup. Big free kick from Ayala. One in the air by Rennie Matthews. Rennie trying to close down Enoch Safro. Sarfo plays it into the midfield. Cochos have won themselves a free kick right out here in front of us. Oh, referee says play on. Player's going to knock it out for a Cochos FC throw.
He was letting them keep the advantage since they had possession. But it looks like he may be going back to the free kick. And Drew, as we showed in the graphics coming into this match, the premier season begins March 18th. The Rovers, their first match is going to be to the newcomers, Legends FC.
They're out of LaGrange, correct?
That is correct. They're new to this spring season. We can't wait to see them. They are super excited to be in the UPSL Premier Division.
Kalanji Pro Profile makes their return to the division as well. Atlanta United FC, Atlanta Rovers FC, Club the Strongest Atlanta, FC Birmingham, Kalanji Pro Profile. Nice ball, and they're both onside. Alejandro Rodriguez, Josh Francombe. Francombe unselfishly plays it to Rodriguez, who's got the whole goal wide open. Rodriguez, 2 men to beat, and Rodriguez pushes it over the bar. They just couldn't make it work. They had plenty of time, plenty of space, just couldn't get it done. Josh Francombe going for his second assist. Alejandro Rodriguez going for his first goal of the afternoon, unsuccessful. The score still remains 2-0 Rovers FC.
I think Francombe owes Alejandro dinner tonight because that ball just wasn't a
little
proper
behind
pass.
him, wasn't it? It's okay. Again, it's Regional Cup. Work the kinks out. Come regular season, the timing with those two players, if and when it happens, it's really going to be scary. The amount of talent on this Rovers FC roster is just phenomenal. Nice ball out here on the right side. Wide open is Mo Harari. Claire closing him down. Harari into the 18. Just didn't get enough gas behind that pass because Amari Walker was crashing inside the 18. Another hospital ball from Montero. Sarcho. Dispossessed by the Rovers. Here they come, up the right side. Good switch. Christopher Derone is wide open at the back post. Chris Derone, he's already got one. Plays it across, looking to get someone in the 6. Nice defensive play, cleared out for a throw-in for Rovers. Nice defensive play by Cochos. Great awareness, great timing. Carlos Landaverde has been all over this back line of Cochos FC this evening. We're going to have 2 substitutions lining up for Cochos. One of them has no number and the other has a half a number. We had a player for Cochos exit the field behind the goal. As we get back into live action, Zach Bacher on the throw for Rovers. Drops it back to Josh Francombe. Francombe to Claire. Claire back to Francombe. Francombe stripped by Mo Harari right at the top of the 18. Matthews once again wins a header out of the air, but he puts it to the feet of Cochos. Omari Walker. Jair Figueroa Lopez switches fields. Wide open over on the right side is Matthews. Venezuelan takes a touch, pulls it back, and puts it back to the feet of Figueroa Lopez. McConan Claire. Francombe wants it back. He receives, turns. He's got space in front. Looks up. Try to play a through ball here on the left side for Zach Bacher. Just didn't get enough juice behind that one either. Here come Cochos. You got to question that whistle right there from the official, as Carlos Saldana and Cochos were, making an attack. It's going to be a free kick for Cochos. They put the ball back in play with Ayala. Nice ball! Forcing Valdivinos to come off of his line. Cortez, shot on goal, deflected off Claire. Jimmy Lee Noel just too heavy of a touch once again. Oh, Jimmy Lee Noel runs into the bench over there and flips over it, but he gets right back up. It's a very questionable positioning of that pointless bench on the far side of the field. Cochos player entering the game. Throw in down the left side. Valdivinos to Matthews. Matthews being closed down by Saldana. Matthews plays it quickly into the middle of the pitch for Francombe, who turns and plays it out wide to McCain and Claire. Claire looks up, plays a long ball in the middle for Rodriguez, who pushes it to his chest, down to his feet, try to play a nice through ball running down the left side for Chris Derone. Alejandro just didn't get enough behind that pass. Sarfo. He's got the newly substituted player on the right side, just a bit offside, right in front of the AR. Great opportunity for Cochos, just wasn't aware of his field positioning. Offside, free kick Rovers.
And an opportunity there for Cochos. They had a foul there, and they had advantage going forward and just wasted it with an offsides. Have to say that our center ref, Logan Busby, has been doing a great job keeping control of this match.
It's a battle on that right side between Chris Ramos and Omari Walker. Larry, this is 2 weeks in a row where Atlanta Rovers FC have just come out very slow. I'd argue sloppy. They are making too quick passes, not putting enough behind. It's just fundamentals. Fundamentals. And I think that's something that the coaches need to recognize and needs to be worked on before the season gets started. You have a potential chance here to really make a name for yourself. And hospital balls and short passes aren't something that needs to be in their repertoire. And look, we see some movement over here on the Rovers bench. Mbomio Del Rio up, moving around. Possibly going to check in here soon. Also, number 18, Manuel Carrillo. As Rennie Matthews is in possession in that far right corner. Heavy touch for Montero once again. Not the best of games for Sebastian. And it's just silly mistakes. Heavy touches. Montero once again, nice touch there from Sebastian. And even better ball if it could sneak through. Nice defensive playing here from Walker and Ayala for Cochos FC.
And that's what we were saying earlier. Cochos, unluckily find themselves down 2-0 with a team like Rovers who haven't been playing their best ball. What happens if they make it into the second half and all of a sudden they find that moment of clarity and really put it together? We could find ourselves 4 or 5-0 down.
We saw it last game. I mean, Club the Strongest won the game, but they didn't win the possession battle. Number throw in here for Cochos. In the 42nd minute, Atlanta Rovers FC on top 2-0. Winner goes on to face Club the Strongest Atlanta in the final next week here at Terra Stadium. Hospital ball once again from the Rovers. Luckily, Randy Matthews was there to get a clearance on it before Zaldania's foot was able to capitalize. Just a bunch of sloppy play. Bunching up over there was Ramos and Noel. Cortez wins it back. Claire gets a big clearance to the feet of David Ayala. Ayala receives, turns, looks up, plays it up to the left side for Amari Walker. Walker cuts it back on the inside and plays it back to David Ayala. Ayala looks up, long ball coming up to the middle looking for Saldana. Just too bit of a line drive that Saldana wasn't expecting. To the feet of Valdivinos. Jorge's gonna wait, draw Saldana in, pick it up, and sprint up to the top of the 18. And once again, look at the middle of the park, Larry. There's no midfielders for Cochos, or I apologize, for the Rovers inside the midfield. Look at Jair Lopez right here close to us. Look at Sebastian Montero on the far side. There's no midfielder in the middle of the park for Rovers. You wonder if that's a space where Luke Sexton comes in and fills that space in, because it's just what they're missing. They're missing that midfield connection to Rodriguez. All of Alejandro's playing has come from the wing. Cochos, dangerous opportunity here. Ernie Matthews gets ahead on that one, but this time it goes backwards. Thankfully, the awareness of Valdivinos was in play. And another great play from the defense. Carlos Landaverde. Carlos is fouled and is rewarded a free kick for his defensive efforts. Another sloppy play from Rovers. Zach Bacher takes down Landaverde. Free kick, 44th minute. Great opportunity for Cochos. Christian Cortez stands over this free kick for the visitors.
And he had an opportunity right there. If he could have gotten that over the Cochos player, he could have been on an absolute run to goal. Luckily for Cochos, able to just get enough of the ball to stop that run.
Three-man wall for Rovers. Great ball from Cortez. Just a bit too heavy. They knew it. Great opportunity, great awareness from Valdivinos once again. Steps off his line and makes a crucial save. Francombe receives it in the midfield and plays it to Daron. Daron plays it back to Francombe. Trying to find Chris Ramos was Francombe, but he wins the ball back. Switches fields to Claire. Claire dumps it back to Valdivinos, who's going to look to hold it, waste some time as we're about to enter stoppage time here. When we know, we'll let you know. Francombe to Matthews. Rennie uses his left foot, plays it up that left side. Christian Cortez for Cochos. Great ball looking for Walker. Walker wins the ball back. Plays the ball across the middle, one in the air by Claire. Claire needs to be careful. Use the safety measures and just played out of bounds for a throw. Cochos take the throw square. Sarfo brings it down from his chest to his feet. He enters the 18. Enoch Sarfo stripped from Francombe to Bacher, trying to find Montero. One back by Cochos. They're in the danger zone of Rovers FC. They're down 2-0 and we're in stoppage time. Amari Walker just sails over the bar. Nice shot by Amari Walker. And that's going to do it for the first half of action. Kind of quiet in the first half. Rovers have a 2-0 lead going into the break, but you got to take your hats off to Cochos FC. They go down early, 2 goals the first 20 minutes, but the last 25 minutes of the game, partner, you argue, Cochos FC dominated. Let's see what they got at halftime to come back into the second half and maybe, just maybe, make a game out of this.
Yeah, you have to say that Rovers kind of took their foot off the gas after that second goal and have just kind of been going through the motions, allowing Cochos FC to come back into this match. We'll see if their staff can have some talks with the guys at the halftime, maybe spark something early into the second half, get them back into this. What they don't need is they don't need to see Rovers somehow get themselves revitalized and really put it to them in the second half.
We're live at Heinz Ward Field, Terrace Stadium, as we go into the halftime break. Atlanta Rovers FC on top of Cochos FC, 2-0. Be dangerous and go near post with it, or he can be safe and go far post. Goalkeeper's leaving the near post open. He's going to trust his wall, and he does go near post!
Oh, what a shot.
Atlanta City FC with the... Tinto did not. That tackle by Les Haji was difficult and hard and harsh even. The referee says play on. Nice reception and turn by Ty. He's got Eber Mascaro. Ty goes far post! Atlanta United... Ball's played in, and unable to keep it out of the net is Cosmos.
He's running out on C's.
Near post corner. Off the head, nice save, and it goes in the back of the net. Seas United FC able to tie the game in the 80th. Put some service into the box, headed up in the air by Felix. Ball still bouncing in the 6. Headed away off the line by Rovers, headed back into play. Shot on goal, Rovers! could be dangerous and go near post with it, or he can be safe and go far post. Goalkeeper's leaving the near post open. He's going to trust his wall. And he does go near post!
Oh, what a shot.
Atlanta City FC with the... Tinto did not. That tackle by Les Haji was difficult and hard and harsh even. The referee says play on. Nice reception and turn by Ty. He's got Uber Mascaro. Ty goes far post! Atlanta United... Ball's played in. And unable to keep it out of the net is Cosmos.
Is running out on C's.
Near post corner. Off the head, nice save! And it goes in the back of the net! Seas United FC able to tie the game in the 80th. Put some service into the box, headed up in the air by Felix. Ball still bouncing in the 6. Headed away off the line by Rovers, headed back into play. Shot on goal, Rovers! Welcome back to Jonesboro, Georgia. We are live at Hines Ward Field, Terrace Stadium. Halftime, UPSL Georgia Spring Regional Cup second semifinal matchup. Atlanta Rovers FC on top of Cochos FC 2-0. Rovers got out of the gate early on, 2-0 within 20 minutes. Looked like it was going to be a rout. Something happened to where they took that foot off the proverbial gas. Cochos FC had a stellar last 25 minutes of the first half. Couldn't find the back of the net. But I'm wondering if they went to the halftime locker room and talked about how they can build on that. Larry, Atlanta Rovers FC, defending champs from the summer, 45 minutes away from their second straight final. Does Cochos have what it takes to get the job done? Or are Rovers going to go back to the final once again?
We'll definitely find out in the next 45 minutes. One thing to note is, what is Rovers going to do with the guys that they have on their bench, because they have some stellar players that have yet to get into this match. I can see them easily making it through this 45, and I can see Cochos coming back into this 45. It all comes down to communication and just working together as a unit and getting that ball into the back of the net.
Yeah, for Rovers, just slow down. Just slow it down, play your game. No forcing the ball. Gotta clean that touch up. I think the biggest portion of the first half, mistake-wise, for Rovers, Larry, was just heavy touches and hospital balls. 2 mistakes that you can easily clean up.
Yeah, just moments that were unnecessary. Unnecessary mistakes. We saw it with multiple players, and we saw times where Cochos had opportunities, they just weren't able to capitalize.
Big mistake there from Valdivinos. Pushes it right up the midfield in possession to Cochos. Header, I apologize, chest. The ball goes off the chest of Rennie Matthews to the goalkeeper's hands. Smart, alert play. He's going to roll the ball out to his right to Rennie Matthews. Valdivinos carries the ball to the top of the 18. Lots and lots of Rovers FC players off the bench, warming up. Headed back into the danger zone from Amari Walker. Matthews able to get ahead on it and able to keep it in bounds was Christopher Ramos. And Valdivinos lets it roll, pulls it back into the box, picks it up. Francombe. 1 assist, 1 goal in the first half. Great player, great movement. Clearance up the line by Max Clare. Nice clearance off his back foot with a man pressure him. McConan Clare able to keep it in bounds and maintain possession. Through ball, looking for Daron. Daron being ran down by Carlos Landaverde. Landaverde wins that battle. Montero plays it out to Ramos. Ramos drops it all the way back to Rennie. Rennie needs to be careful. He's got 2 red shirts on him. Zaldana chasing down Valdivinos, who gets a nice clearance up the right side of the feet of Montero. Montero finds Josh Francombe. Francombe takes a few touches in the midfield. Ball finds its way back to Montero. Jair Figueroa Lopez to Francombe. Nice calm, nice passing here. Just maintaining possession. Trying to force a mistake out of Cochos, his Rovers. Don't put it past Rovers to play that long ball up the middle. One of the few teams in the UPSL Georgia Premier Division that doesn't live by that. I appreciate how the coaching staff for the Rovers has gotten his team into the mindset of that through ball up the middle is a last resort.
Yeah, you see some teams that absolutely rely on that long ball. And you see teams that know how to do, what we call the tiki-taka type passing. We're moving down, we're working.
Ball's played across the middle, cleared away from Matthews. Cochos dispossessed by Rovers. Long ball up the middle. Alejandro in a foot race with David Ayala. And Ayala's going to take him down from behind. And that could be a red card in the end of the day for David Ayala. And it's only a yellow card, as I could have swore he was the last offender between the goalkeeper and Rodriguez, which is 9 times out of 10 a red card. But for some reason, the referee decided against what should have happened and decided he wanted to throw a yellow. Lucky break for Cochos. Free kick, Rovers. Larry, what's going on with that? I mean, come on.
Definitely an interesting decision there by Logan Busby, the center ref. We'll take a look at this play real quick. You can see Alejandro, when they win possession, this ball gets sent right to him for the run. He's able to make it around the keeper, or around the player, but nothing happens of it.
Yeah, that's a red card any other day of the week.
Yeah, I don't know if he's considering, because of the fact that the keeper is right there, that he's going to consider it not the last player. I'm not quite sure what Logan was thinking there. That defender was the last player.
And he was clean in on goal. Throw in down the line off the head of Francombe to the feet of Jair Figueroa Lopez. It's going to be another foul limit. Well, no, referee says play on again as Daron was taken down in the middle of the park. Turns to the official to question the no call. Referee's having none of it. Nice midfield work once again from Josh Francombe. Francombe receives it from a 1-2 with Noel. Josh Francombe inside the 18. He's taken down. He wants a penalty. Referee says, waves a finger like Dikembe Mutombo. Corner, Rovers.
We'll take a look at that and see what. Could this be a penalty or not? Not by me at all. He just kind of goes down himself. A little bit of touch from the defender. They're still able to win the corner.
Corners away. Ball to the far post. Nick Finley sliding in. It's going to go over for a goal kick for Cochos.
You can see Cochos has gotten a little bit more physical in these first few minutes of the second half. So far, it's given them a couple fouls that went against them. They're going to have to be careful.
Montero battling in the midfield with Zaldana. Free kick, Cochos taken quickly. Franco trying to bring it down to his feet. Heavy touch. Lucky cleared there by Claire. So Cochos is applying some pressure here on this back line of Rovers. Had Walker with some space before. He should have given it to him one time, but he held on to it a little bit too long. Big clearance from Francombe. Throw in, Cochos.
Looks like it's the end of the day for a few for Atlanta Rovers.
We got Rodriguez coming off for Nazario and Bomio. Got Justin Sexton checking in for Zach Bacher. And Josh Francombe, man of the match, is checking out with his 1 goal and 1 assist for Augusto Del Rio. Far post ball. One in the air by Zaldana. Back down to the feet of Sarfo. Tried to Cruyff it back on the inside, but nice defensive awareness from Rovers FC. Be a throw in for Cochos. 54 minutes in. Atlanta Rovers FC remain on top with a 2-0 lead over Cochos FC. This is the second of 2 semifinal matchups in the UPSL Georgia Spring Regional Cup. The winner advances to play in the final next week. Shot on goal off the crossbar. What a turn and what a shot from the Cochos FC player, sending Valdivinos all the way to his left. Hits the post, and we're back in live action. Nazario Mbomio trips, does Carlos Landaverde. Mbomio inside the 18. Nice save from Finley. Jimmy Lee Noel to pick up the pieces. Jimmy Lee Noel, and the Haitian puts Rovers up 3-0.
And this is a turn of events and then some for Cochos with almost a pure joy goal there. Turns right around Rovers' attack. You see here, shot's going to be taken. Finley blocks it, but it gets over and right in the back of the net.
Jimmy Lee Noel did all he could to try and mess that up, but the crossbar was his friend. 3-0 Atlanta Rovers FC. They are in pole position to advance in the final next week to take on Club the Strongest Atlanta. 35 minutes remaining. Does Cochos have anything left in the tank? Montero being closed down by Walker. Nice ball from Sebastian Montero. If Lopez can get to it, he cannot. Nice little sneaky pass there from Montero, trying to find the feet of Figueroa Lopez. Referee's going to blow whistle for a foul. Be a free kick for Cochos. We see Luke Sexton off the bench warming up for Atlanta Rovers FC. The Eastern Florida State player is making his first appearance this regional cup. Omari Walker for Cochos finds Christian Cortez. Cortez heavily pressured by Nazario Mbomio. Finds the feet of David Ayala. Ayala looks up, plays a long ball up through the middle, looking for Carlos Zaldana. Headed away out of the danger zone by Rocamora. Inside. Came out of nowhere, Larry, once again. Nice punt from Cochos goalkeeper Nick Finley. One out of the air by Claire. Another 50-50 ball in the air, one by Figueroa Lopez. Finds Del Rio, who quickly puts it to Claire. Claire drops it back to Justin Sexton, another Eastern Florida State college native. Sophomore at Eastern Florida. The brother of number 10, Luke Sexton. Justin making his first appearance for Atlanta Rovers FC in all. Montero being closed down by Christian Cortez. Sebastian holds on to the possession right there and wins a foul. Shields the man between himself and the ball. Great playing there from the midfielder. Coach is letting him know on the sideline that you had options. Sebastian says, I know. He's drawing him in for the foul. Rennie takes the free kick quickly to Del Rio, and Del Rio gives it right back to Matthews. Matthews tries to find Ramos. Ball's going to be dispossessed and knocked out by Amari Walker. Throw in Rovers. Ramos takes a square throw to Figueroa Lopez. I'm sorry, that was Montero. And about 5 players still warming up for Rovers FC. Valdivinos switches fields, finds Sexton. Sexton brings it down out of the air and plays it up the left wing to Lopez, who's got lots of space. He receives, turns. He's being chased down by Sarcho. He is offside just by a touch. Great call from the assistant referee down here on the near side. Just a few steps offside was the left winger for Atlanta Rovers FC. And we're going to have another substitution at the center of the park for Atlanta Rovers. It will be a day for Jimmy Lee Noel, and it will be a day for Sebastian Montero as Manuel Carrillo and Luke Sexton look to check in for Atlanta Rovers FC, who have a 3-0 lead as we head into the 59th minute over Cochos FC. Winner goes on to play Club the Strongest Atlanta next week and the UPSL Georgia Spring Regional Cup Final with a chance to make their mark on this Premier Division early. Rovers FC, Club the Strongest. Throw in for Cochos, who you got to take your hats off to. You know, you don't want to, you hate to say it like this, but a glorified men's league team who've come into a UPSL tournament and have not only won a game, but they see themselves only down 3 in a semifinal matchup against one of the top teams in the division last season in Rovers FC. Look forward to seeing what Cochos bring to the UPSL in the fall. That's their planned time to join the conference. I think it's smart. Wait a little bit. Maybe do some recruiting. Carlos Saldana on top of this free kick. Same spot as his goal against Clayton. He goes far post and just gets too much under it. It's going to be a goal kick, Rovers, as more players look to check in. Sebastian Lopez and Gregorio Rocamora will check in. Chris Ramos will have a seat for the day as Lopez checks in. And Captain McConan Clare is making his exit. No, I apologize. That is Chris Derone. Has himself a goal on the afternoon. He'll sit down and make way for Gregorio Rocamora. We'll restart with the goal kick for Rovers as Cochos are lining up some substitutions as well. Mario Horacha checks in as Zaldana is going to take a seat. Have more Cochos players warming up over here on the sideline. Ball's back in live action with Justin Sexton. Plays it a little bit too heavy, looking for Matt Clare. Cochos take the throw quickly, but give it right back to Rovers. Luke Sexton with the dummy, trying to leave it for Sebastian Lopez. Cochos beat him to it. Amari Walker drops it back. David Ayala just couldn't find the feet. He's going to push it out. Another throw in for Rovers. Right next to the fourth official. Plays it quickly to Luke. Luke one touches it inside to Mbomio. Mbomio leaves it as Gregorio Rocamora was crashing into the top of the 18. He's going to be offside on that far post was Nazario. Free kick inside their own 18 for Cochos. Nazario Mbomio, born in Equatorial Guinea, Africa. Went to Houston Community College for making his way to Atlanta, and here he is starring for Atlanta Rovers FC in the UPSL Georgia Premier Division. Little shove on the back there. Claire maintains possession. He's turned into quite the player, McCunn Claire. Struggled a little bit early on last season, but has really made a name for himself and solidified that left back spot as his, Larry.
He's had a great match so far. Really holding down the line back there in the defense. Love to see it. And that's one of the things that you keep seeing over and over, and we keep talking about over and over, is these teams in the UPSL that have these solid back lines. Because that, like we said, if you have a solid back line, it frees up your midfield and your forwards to do what they do best.
Speaking of solid back lines, Rennie Matthews done quite the job today in the back. Mistake-free. Been there all day for his teammates and his goalkeeper. Rennie Matthews, the Venezuelan. What a player. Luke Sexton in possession out here right in front of us. Back heel. Finds Rocco. Luke came back from injury in the playoff match in the fall and just didn't really look like himself. I'm excited to see a healthy Luke Sexton carry this Rovers team this season. And another great offside call from the AR here on the near side. Just a few steps. Great positioning once again from this officiating crew who've been on top of it all day. One yellow card that you can argue should have been a red. Sympathy yellow instead of a red, I'll call it. But other than that, the officiating in the UPSL Georgia is just top notch. The Rovers are going to maintain possession once again. Turn, find the feet of Gregorio Rocamora. Plays Claire. Claire's going to be fouled. Free kick, Rovers on the far side of the field. It's really nice for a coach when you can go to the bench and look and have such quality players on your bench. I tell you, depth is so important in this conference and in this division.
Well, and also to have a match like this to where you're up by 3, you can go ahead and do all 7 subs, get those other feet in there, let them get an opportunity to have some minutes, see what they can produce, because you know that you're going to have to rely on them at some point in the season, and you want them to all have confidence.
Nice bit of touch here for Mario Haracha. If he's onside, he's got a great opportunity here. Just squandered away another good opportunity inside the opposition 18. Did Cochos. Here come Rovers. Jair Figueroa Lopez lays it off to Rocamora. Rocamora finds Sexton. Sexton looks to his right. He's got Sebastian Lopez. He decides to dump it over, looking for Gregorio. Just a bit too heavy. If Luke looked up and just glared out to his right, Sebastian Lopez had nothing but the goalkeeper in space in front of him. But Luke went
I
fancy.
have to give you 100% on that. Lopez was absolutely on an island by himself on this right-hand side. That was just, he tried to put the ball over the top. That was just the wrong call.
Almost made it, though, regardless. But he'll go back, watch the tape, regroup, and figure out. Let's make the easy passes and the easiest opportunities to score. Sebastian Lopez brings it on the inside. Heavy touch again from Rovers, and it dispossessed from Walker. Walker plays it through for Haracha. Haracha inside the 18. Tries a nutmeg, unsuccessful. One back from Rovers. Sebastian Lopez clears it away from deep in his own territory. Finds Luke Sexton. Luke turns and beats one man immediately. But great recovery from Amari Walker, who's just been all over the place from Cochos FC. That's a player who you want to ink a contract to make sure he stays with you, because that's a player who's going to make your team better each and every week. Amari Walker, 2 hands.
Well, and Cochos staff has got to know you're in a tournament with UPSL teams. These teams are going to see your players and are going to give them opportunities. So you want to do everything that you can to keep your players, especially quality players like that.
Absolutely. As Enoch Sarfro, number 6, looks to exit the pitch. Another great player. One thing about Sarfo and Omari Walker, the supporting cast just doesn't seem to complement them quite yet. And that's another thing that we were talking about with Cochos. A little more time, a little bit more development, and a little bit more recruiting. and they're going to be ready to go in this UPSL Georgia division. Long free kick from Cortez. Cortez goes on goal! Just goes over the crossbar. He wants that one again. Christian Cortez with a great shot on goal. Just sails over. It's going to be a goal kick for Rovers. 67 minutes in. Atlanta Rovers FC beating Cochos FC 3-0. UPSL Georgia Spring Regional Cup. Here's a replay of this Christian Cortez free kick. As he knows where he wanted to go, the ball just didn't drop in time. Drops the last second, lands on top of the crossbar. Lucky break for Rovers. Because you get a goal with 20 minutes to go in a game like this, and a team like Cochos, that's nothing but excitement. That's going to get them right back into it. Rovers have to be careful. They need to be looking for a fourth to really, really ice this game. Nice bit of passing here in the midfield. Through ball attempt successful. Can he beat the goalkeeper to it? No, he cannot. Nick Finley steps off his line and makes a crucial clearance. It's going to be a throw-in for Rovers right in front of their bench.
With just only 20, 25 minutes left to go in this match, Rovers needs to do two things here. One, just need to see this match out. Don't allow Cochos to get back in this match. But two, keep everybody healthy.
Exactly. Walker plays it inside to Haracha. It's going to be a foul on Rovers. Free kick Cochos. Right in front of the official. David Ayala is going to take this free kick for Cochos. It's a far post, one out of the air via header from Max Clear. 50-50 ball battle won by Cochos. Nakamura comes back, wins the ball back for Rovers, and they're on a counterattack themselves. And Bomeo to the right, Manuel Carrillo to the left. Luke Sexton wins the ball back in the midfield. Jair Lopez is fouled by a Mo Hawari. Free kick, Rovers. Much better from Atlanta Rovers FC in the last, 6-7 minutes. Those subs come on. Lopez, Sexton, Del Rio. They've really started to control the midfield. It's what I mentioned in the first half. They're just missing that number 10 player to connect with the forwards. And here we are already, Luke Sexton just dumping balls over the back line of the defense, one after the other after the other. It's just such a confident player, knows what he wants, knows where he wants to go, knows what he wants to do with it, and his teammates just feed off that confidence. Going to be a corner for Rovers. It's going to be from the left side. Figueroa Lopez will take a right foot in swinging corner as Justin Sexton comes from his left back spot to hit the far post. His brother takes a shot, far post! What a shot from Luke Sexton as it hits both crossbars. And it will be another goal kick for Cochos FC. Great run from Justin Sexton coming in from his left back spot, making a diagonal run from the far back side of the pitch all the way to the far post. Luke just needs to look up a little bit more, be a little bit more aware of his surroundings.
You see this replay, takes that shot, just didn't.
Jair Lopez, shaken, Bacon over that left side, drops it back to Del Rio. Del Rio drops it back to Rennie Matthews. They're going to look to reset from the back. Gregorio Rockamora checks back to, one times it back to Rennie. Rennie finds Luke Sexton, who turns in the midfield, and he's dispossessed by Mario. Luke immediately turns back and wins possession back for his team. Doesn't sulk after being dispossessed. He immediately turns around with hunger and wins the ball back. Sexton. Back to Valdivinos. See Rennie Matthews out here on the right, bottom of the screen, opening himself up. Keeper goes back to Justin. Justin plays in the middle of the park to Augusto Del Rio. Del Rio finds Rocamora. Rocamora looks up, plays it through. Manuel Carrillo, can he beat Finley? Finley off his line already. Great awareness from the Cochos goalkeeper to beat the three Rovers FC players charging into the box. Randy Matthews once again with a crucial strip, just magnificently back there on the back line for Atlanta Rovers FC. Look for him to be playing 90 minutes every weekend come March. Foul. Omari Walker on Luke Sexton. Free kick Rovers. I'm going to say it again. You could just tell such a big difference with Luke on the pitch. And Larry, he's getting up awfully slowly. And that is a very scary moment for the coaching staff for Rovers. As we've mentioned a few times already today, the team seamlessly fell apart once Sexton and Rodriguez went down injured. Sky's the limit if those two are healthy the entire season. Nice turn here on the right side from Sebastian Lopez. Try to play a ball across the middle for Mbomio. Frustrated by the lack of accuracy on his pass, Lopez is going to commit a silly foul. Free kick, Cochos. Faulty clearance from the visitors. Puts the ball right to the feet of Manuel Carrillo. Sexton gives it away. He crashes right into Figueroa Lopez. Amari Walker plays it out to the left side. Nice ball from Walker. Valdivino steps off his line and beats the man to it. Gets a big clearance. Another substitution here from Cochos. Number 18, Devlin Laidlaw looks to make his way into the contest. Laidlaw will check in for David Ayala. David Ayala was given a job today that most can't fulfill. Alejandro Rodriguez, Nazario Mbomio, Gregorio Rocamora. It's not an easy task, but he was up for it. Battled all day. Great game, David Ayala. One-time pass up to the middle to Mbomio. And just once again, Larry, it's a matter of just extremely sloppy touch, not just from Nazario, but from the entire Rovers team. You can't come out in a semifinal and expect to play a team like Cochos, who's extremely hungry, and hospital ball after hospital ball, sloppy touch after sloppy touch. You just got to figure out a way to clean that stuff up.
And it's one of those things that you learn all the way back in youth system, young youth system, where you can simply use just a wall and just sending the ball to yourself time and time again and work on that touch, throwing the ball up in the air, settling it down, working on the simple pieces of the game matter the most.
Carrillo puts to the far post, beautiful ball. Luke Sexton collects it inside the 18 on the far post. Sexton, shot on goal. Luke Sexton right to the mittens of Nick Finley. Like to mention one of the defenders missing for this Atlanta Rovers FC squad. Two defenders, really. Ryan Paolucci, who is on trial right now with Chattanooga FC, and Felix Nichols. Clayton State player is not with the Rovers at the moment. And again, Larry, you see one of the defenders for Cochos completely stop play, turn, put his hand up, and look at the assistant referee to make sure the flag went up. Play the whistle. Play the whistle.
I can't say it enough. You have to play to the whistle. Don't worry about. Now, granted, one of the biggest pet peeves that I have when it comes to this beautiful game is telling of when you talk about the professional ranks, letting the ARs put the flag up and allow the play to continue before you call the offsides. As soon as that offsides is called, call it. Yep. Because you run the risk of players getting injured. But at the same time, if you're on the field and you know that he's offside and you can and you know it's going to see that the flag's going to be, continue the play. It doesn't matter.
Yep, 100%. Free kick put into the box. Mario Walker in possession's got two Rovers in front. Walker, nice move, beats Lopez, puts it across the 18. Just didn't get enough juice behind it. Intercepted by Del Rio. Del Rio tries to drive it up the field looking for Nazario and Bomeo, but he gives it right back to Cochos. Nice layoff from Walker, but it's beaten to it by Lopez. Lopez plays it into Rennie. Matthews gives a one-time clearance. Throw in Cochos right in front of the Rovers bench. 77 minutes in. Atlanta Rovers FC on top of Cochos FC. 3-0. We are live from Heinz Ward Field at Terra Stadium. UPSL Georgia 2023 Spring Regional Cup semifinal action. I am Drew Dickinson. Today I'm joined by the Wizard, Mr. Larry Weaver. Had quite an exciting day so far as Nazario Mbomio shakes and bakes from the middle of the field trying to get past that Cochos defense. Cochos just a bit too much as they dispossess Mbomio and they try and start a counterattack of their own. Lots of space out here on the left. Nice battle in the midfield here. Cochos just give it right back to Rovers. Rocamora drops it back to Del Rio. Valdivinos. Sexton to Del Rio. Del Rio receives, turns, plays it up the middle. Another heavy touch from Mbomio. He's going to be a foul. Foul's going to be committed on Nazario Mbomio by Christian Cortez. Free kick Rovers right in the middle of the park. As Sebastian Lopez exits the field. Looks like a shin guard malfunction. I'm not sure. Valdivinos inside his own 18. Clears it up. Flicked on by Gregorio Rocamora. Nice flick by Gregorio, just unsuccessful. Beaten to it by Cochos. Coming on the left side, Rovers. Inside the 18, Sexton plays it across, wide open, Jair Lopez Figueroa! Luke Sexton takes the end line, puts it up top, and Jair Figueroa Lopez puts the fourth on the board, and that is surely going to send the Rovers into the final next week, as the Atlanta Rovers FC cannot be stopped here in the second half.
We take a look at this replay. Into the box, slides it across to the middle, slammed into the back of the net. Nothing the keeper could do. Rovers, Los Tigres, for the Spring Regional Cup title.
Sebastian Lopez still down over on the sideline. If I can make a guess, it looks like he didn't even have any shin guards on at all, Larry. Nice shot as he cuts it inside and forces a save from Jorge Valdivinos, the most crucial save Valdivinos has had to make all evening.
And that is another one of my massive pet peeves when it comes to the sport is shin guards. You see players, professional players in the line of a Jack Grealish who plays with literally almost no shin guard. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous, the shin guard that they allow him to play with. And it just teaches these young players that they can get away with not playing with guards when it's so critical, because we saw it with Luke Shaw.
He's got a scar to prove it.
You do not want to have your fibia or your tibia completely destroyed because you weren't wearing the proper shin guards.
You see, Larry, I agree with you, but I'm going to piggyback and I'm going to bring it a step further. I see it as a preparation issue. What if you're down 1-0 or you're tied 1-1 in a semifinal and you are forced off the field because you don't have any shin guards on. It's unacceptable, and I am surely speaking out of a guess that that's what happened. But if that is what happened, I wouldn't have allowed me as a coach. You're not going back on the field. Can't depend on you.
No.
That's just me. And I feel that it's something that a lot of coaches would. I mean, you can see the head coach. He was frustrated. Again, you're up 4, so you can kind of give a little bit of a leeway. But come the regular season or come the real playoffs, when the playoffs start and you're forced off the field because you're not wearing shin guards, man, we're going to have a talking.
Yeah, it's just lack of preparation. You can almost say lack of respect from the player to do that.
There's 10 other men on the field, 10 brothers that depend on you. And I'm not beating up Sebastian because he's not the only one. He just happened to do it right here in front of us today. But also, with Sebastian Lopez on the pitch for Rovers, they're a better team. So, Sebastian, please wear your shin guards. Mbomio looks to be onside this time. He's being defended by Laidlaw. Second half substitution slows down Nazario Mbomio. Throw in Atlanta Rovers FC on the far side of the pitch. Got about 7 minutes plus stoppage remaining in this semifinal. Nice slide tackle and nice clearance from Cochos. Still showing some heart, still fighting, giving it all they got. You can easily throw in the towel and give up. They haven't. They've battled all afternoon. Rovers are ahead, comfortable 4-0 lead. But Larry, if they want to get back to where they were last season, they got a lot of cleaning up to do. A lot of housekeeping, if you will.
Yeah, they can't just rest on their laurels. I mean, yes, you're kind of going to come out of this with at least 4 goals. But we see a lot of pieces that are not perfect. They need to work on it.
Inside the 18, Cochos just swarmed by those white shirts from the Rovers as they're going to battle out and regain possession out here on the right side. Gregorio Rocamora being defended by Omario Walker. Nice battle. Omario Walker earns himself a handshake from Rocamora. Larry, we've said it before. I hope that there's some ink on a piece of paper between Omario Walker and Cochos FC, because if I'm a UPSL Georgia Division coach and I'm here watching this game, I'm making a few phone calls.
Definitely. That's one of those that you're like, so exactly, how much do you play? Because we have an opportunity for you.
Clearance across the other side of the field. Tried to clear up the field was Justin Sexton. He's trying to win it back. Nice battle over there between him and Mario Haracha. Sexton composed himself, brings the ball down out of the air. Referee sees a potential foul, says play on. Rovers still in possession. Valdivinos. He's got Matthews to his right, and he does go to Rennie. Rennie has had a mistakeless game. Somebody you love to have anchoring that defense. And once he welcomes back Felix Nichols and Ryan Paolucci, good luck to the rest of the league, because if Rennie's in this kind of form, Rovers are going to be right back where they belong, and that's at the top of the table. Nice ball, switching fields to a wide open Sebastian Lopez, who goes on goal, tries to hit a shot near post, had Mbomio at the far post, did Lopez. Nice save from Finley, keeping the 5th off the board for the Rovers. Mario Walker still fighting here for Cochos. Long ball up the middle, looking for Christian Cortez. Dispossessed out of the air by Augusto Del Rio. He drops it back to the goalkeeper, Valdivinos, who's just going to stand and let some seconds tick off the clock. Tick-tock! Plays it in the air. One-time flick from Gregorio Rocamora, looking for Carrillo. Nice defensive awareness from Cochos to stop another counterattack from Rovers. Cortez for Cochos, receives and turns and is immediately dispossessed by Augusto Del Rio. And Rovers are going to reset and try and bleed a little bit more of that clock. Just entered the 87th minute, so that's about 3 minutes plus stoppage remaining in this semifinal matchup. As it stands, it's going to be a rematch from round 3. Club the Strongest Atlanta taking on Atlanta Rovers FC next week in the final of the UPSL Georgia Spring Regional Cup. Rovers want to repeat. Club the Strongest want to lift their first trophy here in the UPSL Georgia division. No better time than the Regional Cup. Sloppy game earlier today from Club the Strongest Atlanta. Sloppy, but a win nonetheless. As they've played fantastic so far, you're due a game to where you stoop down to the level. But they played a team in LGSA who is no slouch themselves. They just haven't been all that they can be. We talked about it off camera, Larry and I, and there's just that one spark, that it factor that LGSA just seemed to be missing. I wonder if they can find that before the season starts March 18th.
Yeah, it was really bizarre to see LGSA play at the level that they did today. They just didn't look like their usual selves. You know, and that's one of the things is we've kind of alluded to it, and hopefully we'll be able to discuss it in the podcast this week, is that you have a lot of teams that are not in the spring division. You got Potros is out. Seas United is out. You have some others that are out, and that gives an opportunity for some players that we've used to see in other kits, opportunities in new kits like LGSA and these other teams that are coming in like Legends FC and some other teams that are coming into Division 1.
Yeah, we got North Georgia United, Dalton United coming into the
Dalton
Premier
United
Division.
is going to be in the Premier Division this year. They won everything last season. It's going to be exciting to see what they're able to do. You know, it's going to be a travel for a lot of teams because you got Dalton up north, that's a 2-hour drive. You got FC Legends, that's a 2-hour drive going south. You've got Birmingham, that's a 2-hour drive going west. So it's no longer just around the corner for some of these matches.
Nice turn out here by Cochos FC player on the left wing. Still in possession. Just slipped up a little bit, but great defensive play here from Figueroa Lopez. Jair will commit a foul right here in front of his bench. Free kick Cochos as we are about to enter stoppage time. Don't expect there to be too many minutes of added time, partner. Toe poke out here to the left side. 3 minutes, okay?
That's my guess. We'll see what the fourth official says.
Nice ball looking for Manuel Carrillo. He's in a foot race with Landaverde. Landaverde wins that foot race as he's been doing all night. A little lackadaisical there from Carrillo. He's going to blow the whistle for a foul. Free kick taken quickly by Cochos. And that is going to do it for the second semifinal matchup this evening. Atlanta Rovers FC, ugly, but cruise to a 4-0 win. They're going to face Club the Strongest Atlanta next week in the final. You know, Lair, sit here and watch 90 minutes of this game and you see Rovers walk off the pitch with a 4-0 lead. It wasn't a pretty game from them. They're going to go back and watch the film and realize there's a lot of pieces that they need to pick up. But in regards to Cochos FC, you got to take your hats off to them. You know, the scoreboard reads 4, but they battled and they hung in all game. Lots of great players on the team. I can't wait to see what they bring to the fall division, Larry.
Yeah, they battled and they did the best that they could. The score reflects what it should have been. Rovers are just a little bit better all around than Cochos. Cochos can work on what they need to do. They've got a couple really talented players. Obviously, we saw that. Maybe need to fill in some gaps. And let's see what they can provide in the fall if they're able to come into the UPSL in the fall season. But for this is going to be an absolute exciting match next week for the final. Atlanta Rovers, Los Tigres. We saw last week they play. 1-1 was a tie. What are we going to see? Could we end up seeing PKs to settle the Spring Regional Cup? Who knows?
Cochos FC, they're going to regroup as their tournament is over. They're going to get back to the drawing board and prepare for the Adult State Cup in May. As for the Atlanta Rovers FC, the Summer Regional Cup champs, they are back in the final next week as they meet Club the Strongest Atlanta live here at Terra Stadium. That's going to do it for us this evening. I am Drew Dickinson, alongside Larry Weaver for Atlantic Soccer Media Group. We are signing off for the weekend. Stay tuned to our social media channels for fixture times and updates for the final next week. We're signing off here from Heinz Ward Field at Terra Stadium in Jonesboro, Georgia. Atlanta Rovers FC 4, Cochos FC 0.
This has been a presentation of the UPSL. Any use of this broadcast without the written consent of the Atlantic Soccer Media Group is prohibited.